I won't slurp in the mic. Welcome to a new episode of the PowerDrift.
Some cola.
No, lick it off. Straight beep in the beginning. Welcome to a new episode of the PowerDrift podcast, where we talk about cars and bikes and everything in between, and other things when we sort of diversify and digress and all of that. And we beep stuff out because it's more free. Or we'll maybe not beep it out. Someday there'll be a time when I don't need to beep out all my Parsi language. Anyways,
Topic for today,
yes.
Yeah.
We are discussing. We put out this topic came up from our social media posts. We put up a post, a couple of.
It came from you.
came from me.
Came from him. We put up a post on Instagram a few weeks ago, depending on when you see this. Weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
About the most overrated and underrated cars and bikes that we have in India on sale now. Like, we're not talking about stuff which is like
Of Cyrus's age.
Yeah, many years ago. Because that's a huge list.
Yeah.
But we're talking about cars that are current, like as of now, April 2023, cars and bikes on sale. March-April, because we're shooting this technically on 28th March.
So if you work at
28th, not 20th.
28th March, 28th.
28th.
So you'll know how much of a delay this has been, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, so most overrated, underrated. We'll have two options each. I'm going to do two cars, both underrated and overrated. Since Karan does both cars and bikes, he's been given the option of doing two.
one each.
No,
One each.
No.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
each. One car,
And
one
I'm
bike.
only
one.
motorcycle, so
And Varun,
two
of
motorcycles
course,
and two
is
motorcycles each.
So if you work at an automotive PR agency or Copcom,
Please turn this off
Please
now.
turn this off now.
Yeah. No, but the point is that, Cyrus said that we took this topic from social media. And even if you have not, we are constantly and continuously reading comments. So if you have a topic that you would like to suggest, then we are more than
Yeah,
happy
absolutely. Because
actually
we're
give it some
going
action.
to run out of stuff until we talk
to.
about
Absolutely. So, who's going first?
I'll start first.
Chalo, start.
The
Underrated?
most overrated car.
Overrated,
Okay.
Sida.
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 Okay, yeah, we can
Band
start
karo.
with, we
No,
can
no, no,
start
now
with-
you
okay,
said it,
fine.
now you
Okay,
said it.
fine.
Now don't,
Overrated car, and this is
Shut
gonna
up.
get
Everybody please, PR people, manufacturers, band. Either
No, it's all in.
No, all in jest. I mean, this is our opinion. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily backed by, well, it is backed by facts sometimes, but whatever. This is an opinion-based thing. Don't get offended.
I'll just say straight off the bat, overrated does not mean bad. Overrated means that there's just more hype around it than is necessary, and that car for me is the Volkswagen Virtus.
Really?
Oh, no.
There are way too many fanboys. There is way too much love for it. I agree, it's a great car. It is very fun to drive, but it is.
Have you driven it?
Yeah, of course
He's
I'm driving
now.
it right now. But it is not very comfortable. Okay. Some plastics are, iffy in some places. There are electrical issues. They are taking away some features as the folding mirrors are gone and all of that. And there
But
is
this is the 1 liter.
But even the 1.5, the top end for a lot of customers, they didn't get the they removed the auto folding mirrors and all of
We
that.
had it
But
on
that's
our
because
long
of
term.
chip shortage. Because of the chip shortage.
No, but we had
yeah.
on our long term. Also, test cars had it.
Test cars have it, but
My
test
friend's cars also have it.
Yeah, but the recent ones, I think about 3-4 months back, they removed that because of the
That's
chip
chip
shortage.
shortage, yeah, for
So
Okay.
also there are a lot of issues with the cars in terms of the driver window keeps coming down at times. That happened with the
Yeah, that happened on my car as well.
So it's not as perfect a car as people on social media are making it seem. I love the car, I love driving the Virtus, don't get me wrong, but it is overrated in my opinion.
No, but again, you talk about perfection, and I put up this post about the perfect vehicle
Correct.
and all of that, and no vehicle is perfect.
Correct, but there are a lot of compromises on the Virtus. Like the ride is harsh, dude. Like it crashes on
Have you
potholes.
checked the air pressure?
Yes, I've checked. This is on normal. This is the 1 liter TSI. This is on normal air pressure. The 31 or 30, I
32.
think 32. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other reason
So
why you don't like it?
Or
not don't like it.
I like it. I love it, and I love driving it. The only thing is, I feel it makes a lot of compromises, and people are not people on social media who are
He's talking about me.
who are not ready to put the money behind the car, love it for how it looks. I personally really like how it looks. That has the 1.5 TSI performance. All of that is there, right? But when you come to putting money down for it, it is not a car that a lot of people will end up buying.
Like, one of the things that Cyrus spoke of when he did that special Virtus story. And I remember having this conversation with him, and he's like, this is a car that a lot of enthusiasts are going to buy because it's so open to
from a Polo.
customization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And people are buying already. Like the
Yeah.
amount of customized Virtuses today in
That's
India
exactly.
already is crazy.
like Bangalore, Kerala has a lot
Yeah.
of these,
Yeah.
customized, modified.
yeah, cool
Correct.
cars, yeah.
But
Because
like
it
I
has
said,
that potential.
It has that potential, right? But it is still got a bit too much love as to what it deserves, in my opinion.
I disagree.
In my personal opinion.
Okay, but why do you think it has gotten so much love? What's so special about it?
because firstly of how it looks.
Yeah.
I feel also because a lot of the Polo fanboys transitioned first to the Taygun and then they transitioned to the Virtus. But
But that's a weird body shape to transition.
No,
no,
because
no,
a
it's the
lot of
brand
the Polo
love.
people have actually gone to the Virtus. They've skipped
Yeah.
the Taygun because they're not SUV fans, or
Yeah.
they don't even
Yeah.
consider the Taygun as an SUV. Most of them.
so
A lot of the Polo people have moved to the Virtus,
yeah.
which is why you already have. So the 1.5 is still a locked engine. You
Correct.
can't tune it yet. I'm sure people will find something in the next couple of months. The 1 liter, they've already found a solution to tune up.
Okay.
250 horsepower.
Hmm.
And that engine we know for a fact can take up to
This
180.
is a 1 liter turbo.
1 liter
right? And the
TSI.
1.5 is naturally aspirated.
No, both are turbo.
Both are turbo.
TSI.
Okay.
The VW group doesn't do any engines
Acha.
anymore in India. Yeah, they don't.
Correct.
They used to do it with the 1 liter MPI, which is now, thank God, is gone. Anyway, so the 1.5 TSI is 150 horsepower. They're making that much already from the 1 liter. And we know for a fact that the
They're
Polo
bumping
is
it to 250.
no, 150 already
Acha.
from 120.
You said 250.
Sorry, my bad.
It's 113, I think.
Whatever it
From
is.
113 to
Something
150.
like that.
Whatever, 120, 110, whatever. whatever figure it is.
Something like that, yeah.
And we know for a fact that it can do 180 because the Polo GT TSI is the last generation, last cars.
Same
Are
engine.
essentially the same engines,
Yeah.
but the ECUs were unlocked. And
That could
they've
do a
been
one.
running 180 horsepower tunes
crazy.
reliably for like ages.
It was actually the 1 liter TSI is actually a more reliable and a more tunable engine and
More
than the
robust as
1.2
well.
TSI. The 1 liter TSI.
1 liter.
TSI
Is
Evo,
more-
because some newer.
Yeah. Better internals, more stronger internals, more advanced engine. The 1.2 TSI is actually a very old engine. So the 1 liter TSI is more tunable, but I want to still say, and I still stand by what I
Sure.
said, it is slightly on that counter. Like we
fair
had
enough,
a
fair
counter
enough.
before we started rolling off -10 being completely underrated, +10 being completely overrated. I think this is about a 2 or a 3. So it's not very overrated. It is.
Yeah, sure.
I thought you'd come up with like a 10 or. I
No,
have
no.
two cars which are 10.
So start with the
Okay.
first one.
Yes.
No, but I want to just say one more thing before I do that.
Yeah.
I have used the 1.5. We got it in May last year.
Hmm.
I put 10,000 kilometers, 11,000, 12,000 kilometers on it when we sent it back on 31st of Jan.
Then. Okay.
And it was my Bombay Pune sort of expressway run car, right? Oh, dude.
Yeah, great for
That thing
expressways.
sat at speed. I'm not going to
Great.
say what speed, but it sat at speeds. And I would do Mumbai Pune just peacefully. It just start, go.
Potholes?
No issues ever. 16-inch wheels. Tiny little coaster wheels, yeah.
You
This
also
thing
have the
needs
GT, no?
17.
The top
1.5,
top
yeah.
But it thuds a lot through.
No, not really. I didn't find it at all.
Really?
That's good.
And
Thing.
I
You got
drive
extra
everything.
cushion. Extra cushioning always helps.
Do you want to do one bike before we move to cars?
Overrated or underrated?
What do we want?
I think since we are on the topic of overrated, I would like to jump in real quick. I thought about this hard, and for me, this concept of overrated usually stems from marketing. And you were discussing this before the podcast even started. And marketing plays a great role in how we perceive vehicles. Pulsar, I'm just saying an example, but Pulsar, for example, always had this aura of stunting and lifestyle and just being flashy. At the end of the day, a Pulsar is a sporty commuter. It's not supposed to do stunting and stuff like
Correct.
that. But you had this image, and that's what he perceived and thought about that motorcycle to be. But having that or keeping that example aside, I think one of the recent things, I still don't think it's completely overrated, but I think Ola, and it's mostly to do with their marketing. And I say it's overrated because you don't hear or see problems
What?
so often
On other motorcycles.
on other motorcycles.
As you've seen with Ola.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay.
I
But
mean,
they're still being defended by fanboys to Kingdom
they
Come.
will still be defended by fanboys. They will still be defended, and that's the internet. The internet will always be divided between people who support you and people who don't support you, and similarly for us as well. I mean, there will be people who will
But-
be fans of you, and some people.
No,
who
no, one second,
won't.
sorry. But the level of fandom or fanboyism or extremism around Ola fans is much higher than
No, it's not.
anything else.
No, it's not. I mean, I see people who are fanboys of the Pulsar. I put out a video of the Pulsar NS200, and honestly, it's not the biggest update that it has had in 2023. And they were like fanboys. Like,
KTM fanboys.
yeah, they're very
are
strong.
That's
very
toxic.
strong.
Dude.
Yeah, that's not toxic.
That is
Yeah, he's a KTM owner.
not
no,
toxic.
there is a
at all.
level of toxicity in the KTM world.
It's a group of
It's like the Skoda Laura of fanboys.
It's a group of elite motorcycle
are.
enthusiasts that are.
Shut up. Anyway, point being that you cannot have these many issues, and
Yeah.
for me, that is one side of being overrated. But for me, I think if you get a lot of testing done, and all of this has to happen before you roll out a product, and products aren't supposed to be tested by customers. Products are supposed to be tested by test riders and the internal team. And once everything is finalized, is when you roll out a product. I mean, I know people who DM me and say, you know what, I got an Ola and it has this problem and all of that. Because there are so many good things about the scooter, but there are
Yeah.
things that are bad, and they are really bad.
Yeah.
So that balance sort of
So
just goes off.
I agree. So we see it's not new that problems come up in new cars, right, or new motorcycles.
The first lot,
Yeah.
especially.
But you very rarely hear suspension failure.
Yeah.
That is a very critical component.
Yeah.
And it's something
and
that
it's
will
not-
kill you. Yeah.
Life
and-
risking.
Exactly.
It's
And
a-
Yeah, exactly.
Like things can go really wrong. But I also feel the world of electric relies so much on software. I mean, hardware issues are there for sure, but it relies so much on software, and there shouldn't be problems on the software front as well. Once in a year, if something goes wrong,
That's
for
fine. Yeah,
whatever
that's
reason.
okay.
Yeah.
But listen, my best friend bought one early bike. Okay, early scooter. Second day of ownership, it just shut down.
That's the problem. Even our
It
test
just
scooters,
shut down.
even our test
It
scooter
had
had
to be,
an issue.
you know how you tow it with the leg and you sort of bring it back. Somebody had to go and bring it back to that.
I know. I remember you telling me that.
and like one day, like less than 100 kilometers.
I know. In fact, even our test scooter had an issue, and that is what was highlighted in our Comparo video as well. But for me, I think in terms of just recent products, number one has to be Ola.
Yeah. Let me, you mentioned about testing, right? Let me just tell you like a story or anecdote or whatever. My dad used to be head of testing at one point in time for Mahindra, right? This was a whole fleet of cars that were running for long-term durability testing. Every single car, without fail, per day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 1,000 kilometers.
Yes, and that is what happens with a lot
I'm
of these-
talking about 20 cars running 1,000 kilometers a day.
Absolutely.
Non-stop.
Dude, go to Dehu Road. I don't know. I mean, people in Pune who are listening to this podcast will absolutely know Dehu Road, because that's sort of a junction where you have
yeah.
people from Chakan
Always,
coming
yeah.
in. And there are a lot of these automotive factories in Chakan.
Yeah.
You've got Bajaj, you've got Tata, you've
The
got Mahindra,
Tata stuff
you've got
comes from there,
Ford.
VW comes from there,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So you see motorcycles and cars
being
being
tested,
tested
yeah, of course.
every
And
single
testing
day. That's
on
validation.
software and testing on software and electronics is one thing, but real world testing
Is
is
different.
very
testing.
crucial.
Absolutely. And they're riding on everyday roads.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
means they're getting real
And you
world
remember
data.
when
Exactly.
before Thar came out, there were lots and lots of memes, even before the Scorpio. Oh, they're still testing, they're still testing. It's for your own good.
Yeah.
It's not because they're testing because they don't want to launch something. It's for your own good.
Yeah.
The more testing they do, the better product we get. It's as simple
Yeah.
as that.
Dude,
Let them test.
talking about testing quickly, I want to just say this out loud before we move on to your selection of overrated cars. When the Himalayan was launched, the
Oh, yeah.
BS3,
Peg.
right? No, the peg was one thing, but a lot of these issues with the motorcycle popped up after, say, a couple of months, after 3 months, and I don't remember who I
Engine
spoke
seizing.
to. Yeah, and I think I felt that maybe Royal Enfield rushed in
They did.
with their product and stuff
100%.
like that. And after that, that's why you see this gap between motorcycle launches, because now they're like, we're
Enough is enough,
we're
yeah.
not gonna repeat the same mistake again.
Correct,
We're gonna test. We're gonna keep testing until all our problems are solved. And that's why they are coming up with better motorcycles. Of course, you still have this lot where one
Niggles and
motorcycle,
all.
yeah, always be there. And it's not just one brand. It
The
might be
Conti
with
GT 535.
Yeah.
on the media ride,
Yeah.
engine seized.
Exactly. And so I think they sort of corrected their way after Himalayan.
Yeah.
Because when they came up with the GT twins,
Perfect.
a lot of
Yeah.
things were sorted. I mean, it's still not.
Well,
And
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
new bikes
customers
seem nice.
New bikes,
I mean,
the
the
JC
quality has been.
yeah, is
the
really
jump in
nice.
quality has
Yeah.
been. I mean, it's noticeable, right?
Yeah.
Like even I, who am
And it's not just first lot of Royal Enfield. It's first lot of KTM had a lot
Yeah.
of issues
Yeah.
and
overheating or something.
yeah. But I mean, I don't remember hearing issues about TVS. Like I've not heard a
Yeah.
lot of issues about TVS, especially when it comes to the first lot.
Or Honda.
Or Honda as well.
I mean, I have a
as
very
well.
early.
as well, yeah.
I have a
Suzuki as
very-
well.
I have two very. One very early Navi, the second one's a little later. I
Yeah.
guess I have two Navis. I have a very early end talk. Zero issues.
Exactly, dude. Like and TVS,
And I
Suzuki,
ragged them.
Yamaha, and Honda.
yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
You never hear about issues. But
Okay.
anyway, yeah,
Moving
we'll
on.
move on to your overrated car. Number one.
First overrated car. Very obvious.
Drum
Force-
rolls. What is that?
Force Gurkha.
Okay.
So when we did our review of the car, I said it looks great from a distance because it looks like a G-Wagon. It's big, it's sort of different, and it's got road presence. That I'll give. Everything else in that car is just, I mean, and there are the. It's just not a car for this generation. It feels like a product that's 10, 12 years old when mediocrity was okay, as long as the product was cool enough. Today,
But
it's
isn't
just
the
not.
new Gurkha better?
No, it isn't.
Relatively
I mean, relative to what?
to the old Gurkha.
Of course, it is going to be better.
Yeah, that's why I said
And,
relatively.
okay, I'll tell you what. Look at the jump on the Thar. Look at the jump on the Scorpio. Look at the
Huge.
jump on the Brezza. Look at the jump on
Massive.
anything. Creta.
Yeah.
If you take the Thar as an example, and you should because it's a direct rival, right?
Correct.
If you take the Thar as an example and a jump is 0 to 10, 100%, the Gurkha jump is like 7%. Maybe
Okay.
not 15%. Chalo. It looks nicer. Fine. Yes, you got these LED daytime running lights and it looks like a G-Wagon from a distance. I'll give it all that. Okay. Fine. But everything else is just so mediocre in that car. I mean,
Is it to do with money as well?
Probably.
Or how profitable the company is?
Probably.
Because
I mean,
the more money you have, the more you can put
No,
in
I-
R&D.
I- it's not like they're not profitable. They're certainly making enough money making engines and stuff like that.
No, but I mean, when you compare it to,
But-
say, like a Mahindra.
Oh yeah. No, I think
Like Mahindra obviously has more money for R&D.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think there is a. I think they're okay doing a rudimentary vehicle, and my problem is people who've never driven one, never sat in one, are commenting on how good the car is by the way it looks.
Yeah.
And the fanboyism for a Gurkha
Yeah.
is absurd. And I can guarantee you that 9.9 out of 10 people, or 99% of people who are saying all these good things, have never driven that car. Because the moment you drive that car, you can't.
There's no connection.
No, it's just all over the. I mean, and you think it'd be good off road, right? It's not.
Okay.
I mean, it bottoms out everywhere. Like our test car, the balance rod in the back fell off on like the most basic trails, and we weren't dragging on it, and we weren't like jumping it, or we weren't doing stupid things like other publications
So
do.
sure. So if someone who's watching this video right now is still a Gurkha fanboy or a
Yeah,
fangirl
money.
or whatever, but and you have test driven it and you have test driven it as well. Why do you think people should still buy the Gurkha?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Yeah.
And what are
Listen,
the options do they
everybody-
have?
Thar.
What about Jimny?
I don't want to say anything because I haven't driven it.
Yeah, same.
Sure.
I've driven the 3-door.
But the 3-door.
I've driven the 3-door. I don't want to say anything because I haven't driven the India spec car. It's a longer car. It's going to be more comfortable.
Sure.
We don't know the calibration yet. So there's no point talking about it.
Okay.
I think it'll be a good package at the price it's going to come at because obviously going to be cheaper than the Thar is, right? Thar, I think top of the line now is 20 lakh rupees or something like that.
No way.
But yeah, but the Scorpio is some 27.
Top
26,
end?
27. Yeah.
What?
The XUV is 30 plus. I mean, everything will become more
Plus waiting
expensive.
period. Anyway.
But plus, yeah. And even we can't help that out. Can you imagine? Even we can't like call and say, can you please help us?
nikal do, sir.
It's just not possible. I didn't do the Force Gurkha versus Thar comparo. Because there was no point. I mean, the Thar is just, I mean, anybody who even looks at the two cars next to each other, see, there is still a market for the Gurkha. I'm not saying there isn't. There is still a more sort of rural market, like a tier 3 city, tier 2 city, whatever market is there. It is a cool looking vehicle. But everything else,
And
it
looks
just it's
also bigger than the Thar on the road.
it is bigger. Than
Yeah,
the
man,
car.
the visual
It is a
visual
tall
presence
car.
is.
It is a tall car,
yeah.
but it
Pretty
just doesn't
buff.
drive up to scratch. It just
Okay.
But wait.
Huh.
My question is, do you really think it's overrated though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because people like go gaga on
Okay.
you see the 4x4 forums
Okay.
and like people are all over it.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, sure.
Fine. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead.
Your second overrated car.
My
The second.
No,
Now,
bike
no,
now.
no bikes. Yeah, sure.
overrated bike.
KTM
I can't
390.
think of that right now. I'll say underrated car till then. Is that okay?
No.
No, let's finish the overrated stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you come back.
I'll
later.
come back.
I have an overrated this thing,
Overrated.
and
You also don't have
no, I have it. Overrated
bike.
Bike.
One more.
We spoke about it. It's the Activa.
Huh.
Yeah. For a lot of reasons, man. I think one, there are better products out there. There are products that I don't understand why people,
And cheaper.
I mean, forget cheap. I mean, price is a very different issue, but it's connection. It's connection. Like, why would you not go for
And
I don't know.
access.
Yeah, a
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Like, they are better products. It's just over. And you
But do you get a remote to start them?
You don't get a remote.
Do you get a remote to start an Access or a Jupiter?
Forget that. But the point is, there are the reason why people go for an Activa is so weird. Do you know? I've heard
peace of
some of
mind.
these reasons. I agree. I mean, there's Honda, the backing up
It's
of
the
Honda.
Maruti syndrome, right?
But don't you think TVS has a similar level of reliability and approachability with their scooters?
See,
From my
reliability
experience,
again.
TVS has been more reliable than the Hondas I've owned.
Reliability is always
Exactly.
a long-term thing. But again, it takes time for someone to say, I've used this for 5 years, or a bunch of people to say, I've
Okay.
used this for 5 years, no issues, this is the service cost, no, hassle-free. But with the Activa as well, the reason why I say it's overrated is because people buy it for weird reasons. People are buying it because, अरे उसके बाद Activa है, मेरे घर में Activa नहीं है, I will buy the Activa.
Metal body was the reason earlier.
One of the reasons was metal body, but come on, metal is weight. Metal is more.
वो मैं ठोकेगा तो वो टूटेगा नहीं, वो बेंड होगा,
अरे तो
मैं उसको
मतलब
बनाएगा.
that means you're coming in with that thought that मैं ठोकने वाला हूँ. Doesn't work like that. So there are better options. I mean, even and it's in every segment. There are better options. There are scooters and motorcycles that you will connect with more. Please buy something that you connect with, not just because मेरे पड़ोसी के पास Activa है तो मेरे पास भी Activa होना चाहिए. It is a matter of pride. It's the same syndrome as the Royal Enfield Classic. Classic. I will graduate or I'll pass my 12th.
बुलेट लेगा.
Exactly. क्यों? Like there are better products. There are better products. Please just go, and not because you've seen it and it looks cool.
But
And
listen,
no, man, doesn't work like that.
the reliability factor is a big deal for a lot of people, which is why the Hero Hondas sell the way they sell.
And
Sorry, not Hero
Activa has
Honda.
like an
My bad,
insane
my bad.
second-hand price also.
Heroes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've owned one. Okay, I had. Let me just recount the number of Hondas I've had. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 Dios back to back. One Activa. 2 Navis. These are personal vehicles. In parallel, I had Dios and Activa long termers also. And then of course I have now the NTORQ and the RR310. But I find the NTORQ, even though it's little bit more in terms of service costs, because I also do a major service every 6
How
months.
much does it cost?
5-6 grand every 6 months.
Every 6 months, 5-6 grand on a scooter.
Yeah,
Really?
because I do like all
What do you
cables,
do?
all oil.
Why?
Because I like doing it.
Please don't be like him.
All cables, all brake, the front brake pads.
That's
the
because
rear-
you don't ride it.
No, dude, the
Achha, you're
NTORQ is
riding
built
it.
like a. I didn't want to beep it outside.
Auto
just
be.
like-
Auto be.
Dude, I like what I've owned it since the beginning now. So in 2018, when was the launch? It's like 17.
I don't know, man. There are
Whenever.
different variants.
Early. Mine was the first blue one in the
First.
country, according to Bala.
Acha.
Bala was like, "तू अभी मत खरीद, मैं मेरे को तो बोलता हूँ." I said, "What colors coming?" He said, "No, you wait. Wait 5-7 days." So you put the money down, you pay for it,
Yeah.
but you wait. I'll send you. I'll get
Subtle flex.
blue NTORQ in the country.
First blue NTORQ in Parsi colony.
No, in the
Dadar.
country, in the country.
Really?
Yeah, on the day of the launch, on the
First
evening of the
blue
launch.
NTORQ with a number plate ending in 57 in this
But
colony.
you know what I
in
did?
Mumbai.
I'm sitting in the. I've got the scooter. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a habit of debadging everything I own. As much as I can. Like the cars sometimes stay, most get debadged, de-stickered, all of that.
Oh, so
In the dealership, I'm sitting and ripping off the stickers. Okay, everything. He's like, क्या कर रहे हो सौरभ? मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. लेकिन सर बाहर तो निकालो. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. नहीं निकालो. बाहर मैंने फोटो भी नहीं लेने का.
Oh shit.
So I sat and I removed all the stickers. Okay, then he had put a wonky number plate because every dealer brand new puts a wonky
Correct.
number plate. So first thing I went and got a decent, clean,
IND.
proper. No,
No, IND
that
was
time the
not-
IND was not permanent. I had a format which all my vehicles were that same exact format, same font on every single vehicle.
subtle flex.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
First Baba in the country to have all vehicles with the same font.
No, all of us do this. What are you talking about? Of course.
First TVS Ntorq in the country with a matching font to a Chevy Chevelle.
No, it's very, very
So many clickbaity videos
But
that Cyrus can do.
now I do IND on everything. I just want it to be legal. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Although
sure.
it's not the official IND, it's the guy who does it for me.
This Ntorq is
But-
one of a kind.
But they were like, completely fragile, what are you doing? But I've realized, or I found that the Ntorq in terms of overall reliability and like parts wear and stuff, like, you know, simple stuff, the little screws that hold, nut bolts that hold the brake levers, or the brake levers themselves, or like the little bolt, nut, whatever, adjustment nut on the mirror, doesn't rust. I've had the Dio come home and like in 3 days I've had rust on things. So Honda has had quality issues. I don't know what they are now.
Okay.
Honda has had some quality issues in the past. My Dio definitely did.
My dad rides a Dazzler. It's a Honda product. I don't know if
It's a
you.
bike. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
And he's had it for
2006, 7.
14 years, 15 years, 14 years now. And he's not got any major issues as such. He just.
But they're bulletproof engines, yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Japanese.
I mean, my
engineering
Navi
is
also has not had.
Too good.
Yeah. Only thing I do is I keep changing the cables because they get jammed for some reason. I don't know why. Throttle cable, brake cables. I just don't know. They just
Weird.
keep getting weirded, like jammed up. And I do rear brake
Brakes,
liners
yeah.
all the time, like literally every 2,000 kilometers, because they get worn out. Because I like rear bias brakes.
Now,
Anyway,
Now his turn.
have you thought about it?
Yes, I've thought about it.
Overrated.
Again, I feel slightly controversial, but it's the Triumph Tiger Sport 660.
Okay.
I feel it's a very uncharacteristic bike. Uncharacteristic being the wrong word, I feel. It's a bike that lacks character, I feel.
Connection.
Same thing.
Connection.
Are you talking about
Saving-
all the 660s?
No. I
There are
haven't
only
ridden
two
the
660s.
Trident. I haven't
Trident
ridden the Trident. So
But
Tiger Sport 660.
You know what Shumi felt about the Trident?
Yeah, no, I felt the same. It's just
The saving grace
super
is the
linear.
sound. It sounds very nice.
Yeah.
But like if you're graduating from something like a 390, there's not that much performance that you would be like, oh wow, I've had a big upgrade. There is performance, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. It's a comfortable bike. I think it's on Michelin Road 5s, no? The Tiger Sport 660. I think it's on Michelin Road 5s, and
But
those are
if you-
nice tires as
If you
well.
want sound, you should buy a Benelli, no?
No, but Benelli is where is that inline 4 now?
That's
Dude, any
true.
Benelli sounds good. The
No?
300 was a
I mean, it
994.
does. No.
Even the Imperiale sounds good, dude.
Yeah, all Benelli sound good
But
for
only
sure.
sounds.
But even when you speak about the Trident, I mean, of course, it does not have a connection, but it is such an easy motorcycle.
It is easy. But I feel if
Like
someone
that's
is...
where I think people, I think they made a mistake where they should have had a little more connection.
Yeah, and I feel it should have been a little less easy if that seems understandable. Because someone going from a 390 is going to that with that's their first proper big bike. It has to have that big bike feel, which it sort of lacks.
Correct. It's also expensive.
But
It
do you
is
think
expensive.
us as like people who ride and drive a lot prefer sometimes to have these sort of play toys which are a little more challenging, a little more difficult for the experience of it? Do you think normal people want that as well?
But
No, I don't think
Bro,
so.
otherwise the Lotus Elise would be like the best selling sports car in
Correct.
the world.
I mean,
right?
normal people don't want it, man. No, I don't
They
think
want-
so.
but
They want peace of mind.
They want Caymans,
So we've been fortunate enough to ride and drive pretty much anything and everything.
anyone.
But people who buy vehicles, I heard that.
Yeah.
But people who buy vehicles save up, take a test ride, watch as many videos, read as many articles as they can, and then make their
Make an
purchase.
emotional decision. And
Correct.
Like a first big bike.
Unless you have a lot of money and you're like, "Arey, ye aaj hafte
maybe
dusre-"
yeah. Like a first big bike. Like I've been mulling over a first big bike for like a decade now. It went from Ninja 250 to putting down money on a street twin, CBR 350.
Duke
Highness,
390 the way to go.
Which is a CBR 350? There's no CBR
CB
350.
350, sorry.
Huh.
Then the RS,
Which one?
the same one, CB 350. Took my money back on both.
The Highness was the
Highness and the RS, both had
Oh.
booking. So
Damn.
I had a booking on the street twin. I had a
He's one of those people that inflates those booking numbers.
No,
आज 50,000 एक booking हुआ.
Listen,
एक था Cyrus.
I went and booked it without telling my wife. She found out
Cancelled.
not literally.
Cancelled your booking.
She said, no, what is wrong with you? You can't buy a bike right now. What is not? It's cancelled. Then I went and bought the RR310 without telling her. Got screwed there also. Anyways.
Anyway, okay. Now I think we should move on to
Hey, mera bike
underrated.
car hai.
Your overrated car.
Last.
Last
Then
one.
we can move on to underrated stuff. Fortuner.
Oh.
आ जाओ बेटे.
Understandable. Completely understandable.
Come. It was obvious.
But this is price linked, right?
Dude,
it is price linked and
Ha.
sometimes actually let me give a two-sided approach to this. Okay, I would love to have one too.
Same here.
Dude,
Because-
exactly.
Why-
Because it is like big,
Boss.
bulky. You can put a nice aftermarket bumper on
And
it,
you
which is not
can,
legal.
like-
Put a snorkel, wheels, and all. Look, it's a cool way of traveling around, right? And I like big, bulky, huge SUVs. It's just me. But some of the people, I'll improve this the way I say this. The image that the car has, a lot of people will never be seen in a Fortuner. And if you drive one of them, your image sometimes might get linked to that. And that is why it's overrated. Everybody wants one. And that is why they sell at whatever stupid pricing they sell at. Like the top of the line Fortuner.
50 plus.
60 lakhs or something.
Legender or
Yeah.
something.
Legender
Yeah.
4-wheel drive is 60
Crazy
lakhs or
money,
50
man.
lakhs something, which is just, I'm
Unbelievable.
sorry, but that is absurd.
Yeah. However reliable it
Dude,
is, whatever
no,
it
man.
is, like it's.
I mean, I've heard stories,
I mean, that's
but
X3
that
money.
engine is bulletproof.
yeah, but
Oh, fine, okay. yeah,
That's okay.
It will keep running on and on and
Yeah,
on and
yeah.
on.
No, and you can. It's a very versatile product as well, and it is genuinely bulletproof. It's cheap to maintain, whatever.
Dude, I remember taking the ND, not the Fortuner, but I remember taking the ND from Pune to Mumbai and then I drove it back. I was in love with it.
Yeah,
I was in
Tell you,
love.
I don't want
It
to
had
linger on the
everything.
Fortuner because-
Everything.
yeah. I don't want to linger on the car because obviously everything has been said and done about it, and irrespective of whether it's overrated or not, I would still have one.
I would still have one.
Yeah,
With a
for sure.
fancy number, big ass number plate.
No,
black
I will
tints.
have it only for the engine.
Oh, okay.
I would probably go for an ND. Just because it has a lot more
It's
features.
discontinued now. I would never
I
even
know.
touch it.
I know, but
Where would you
I
put
think
it on the scale?
Features, man.
Minus 10
nothing
plus
comes
10.
close.
Where would it be?
9.
Plus
On
9.
overrated. No comments. I mean,
Your
I'm not-
Ola scale?
5.
Plus
For-
5.
Yeah. And for Activa, around 4.
Come on, yeah.
My Virtus
So-
is a plus 2 and my Tiger Sport
Look at these guys.
plus 3 plus 4.
So politically correct.
No, it's not political.
No.
Okay.
It's
chalo.
just
Let's move on. Let's go to underrated because at least underrated then
Ah,
will be more
underrated.
appreciative of
I'll
those
start.
cars.
Mahindra Bolero Neo. Underrated as hell. Right? I know it looks a little odd and people say that it's not a Bolero. But I have this opinion
What
that
is a Bolero?
the Bolero, OG
No, but
Bolero.
why is it? Why?
Because when Mahindra launched it, it was the TUV 300, right? And then it got rebadged to the Bolero Neo, and
Dude, I
everyone.
had gone for the first drive of the TUV.
So you've driven it. So
I drove
the
it around
ride
the track.
quality is fantastic. The engine is very efficient. The manual gearbox, okay, it's a little bit loose. It's not like one of those slick manuals, but
the
it
wizard
gets
sleeve?
the what?
What?
I don't know if
What?
that's like a.
It's one of those. Terms,
I that's why I didn't want to ask more questions. Manual gearbox is like a little bit loose, but it gets the job done, dude. And the ride quality is legit
Really good.
fantastic. It's got
And
the old.
It's not that expensive also.
It's not that expensive. It's got the old Scorpio
It is.
chassis.
It is expensive?
It's 15, no. 15, 16.
The ex-showroom, I'm on road. I don't know what the on-road pricing is depending on the city. Ex-showroom price between a top-of-the-line manual Brezza fully loaded ex-showroom and the Bolero, the difference is some 30,000 rupees.
Okay.
But the Bolero Neo has far better ride quality. It can actually go quite far off-road with the MLD on. And it's rear-wheel drive. And old Scorpio chassis, proper
You should get a tattoo here. Disagree.
proper
No, I don't disagree.
body on frame
don't?
construction.
Because it does, it'll never outsell the normal Bolero because the normal Bolero just
Yeah,
is the normal
yeah.
Bolero. But fun fact, the normal Bolero, the TUV 300 was supposed to be the Bolero replacement. It was never supposed to be a TUV 300. This
okay.
change happened very late in the product planning stage. They said let's parallelly launch this as well because the Bolero was just doing so great. I mean the Bolero still the Brezza came along and sort of caught on, was the largest selling SUV in the country by a mile and top 10 selling car in the country for like ever. And even today they sell like Bolero is one of the highest selling products and also the highest profit margins for Mahindra. Like huge.
Bolero Neo AC system is also.
Really nice.
But I would never, I mean,
Yeah, it's not a car for tier 1 cities, I feel.
look, my only thing is, yeah, exactly. For what it is meant to do, it is the best
It
product
is
you can have.
seriously.
Sure.
So for the Bolero customer, the Bolero Neo is a much
Yeah.
better car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vehicle,
Sure.
Yeah.
product. And same size.
I would say underrated -7. -6.
That, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. You want to go with your underrated?
I forgot what mine was.
I'll talk about my underrated, and it will come as a surprise because it is one of the MV Agustas,
What?
dude, and it's underrated because of the experience. And I don't know if I've spoken about this in a podcast, but
Which one?
F3 800. Oh my
Is that the
god!
Brutale? No. It's
No,
different.
Brutale is the naked.
That's the one that thing
Oh,
happened you were
F3 is
telling me about.
the
Yeah.
fully fed one.
F3 is a fully fed one. So we had gotten, I remember picking it up from the Kinetic plant for a game of performance shoot. And I was supposed to travel to Delhi.
Ajinkya.
So I
Ajinkya,
take,
no.
Yeah, Firodia. So take it out from the plant, get on the motorcycle. I have like an amazing ride back to office. I come to office and I hear this burbling sound. And I'm like, something's on fire. Something's burning. And then I see this coolant just leaking. And then I call them up and I say, you know what, I'm supposed to take this on a track. Why is this happening? Blah, 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 blah. They're like, don't worry. Wait for 5 minutes. It'll stop. 5 minutes later, it stops. I'm like, I'm taking it to a track. Are you sure? Because track temperatures are going to be different. I'm going to be riding at full clip. No problem. And when I'm at the track, I ride it over the course of 3 days. 3 days. Nothing happens. No problem no problem at all. But those 3 days were so magical. I had a hard time giving it back.
Hard.
Really hard. Really hard time giving it back. Dude, that motorcycle. It had the best quick shifter in the world back in 2018. It used to rev like crazy. It was amazing. What an experience. But globally, when you read forums on a global website and all of those things, and you see how many problems that brand has and their motorcycles have, that slightly puts a dent in the experience, but just that experience. And you know what? 6 months later, they came with the RC version, which was the Reparto Corse version, which came with the SC Project exhaust. I was in love. It was so underrated. I mean, yeah, it is. It's not the best.
And they're expensive.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Keeping price tag aside, just the experience. Oh my god, what a motorcycle! I still miss it. It was just that good.
Doesn't Shrikant...
That's Aprilia. Yeah. So that was number one for me.
How far on the
they're
scale?
beautiful though. Aren't they
10, man. That good.
Like probably currently the prettiest production motorcycles.
Agustas? No, Ducatis are close.
But
I still
but
think
the
Ducati is
art,
better.
like that exhaust, the triple exhaust and the wheel.
Oh man.
Yeah, crazy.
Like the way it sounded, I never missed the gear lever. It never shifted bad. It was so good. It was that good.
Do you think it's art more than motorcycle?
Yeah, like if I owned one,
Do you think put it in your hall?
no, I would only take it to a track day. Come back, put it in my house, take it to a track day. Like
I want to
very
have a
specific.
Thruxton R in my hall. Yeah.
You want to have a lot of motorcycles in your hall.
No.
Duke
No.
See?
What?
See?
I'll tell you what. I would ride the Thruxton R.
And have like a GT650.
Duke.
No.
Duke.
And I would have I've done that. I've owned Duke. I'm past that stage now.
Your Navi.
No, I would have a 90 CBR 400 RR in my hall. in the Repsol. No, not the Repsol. The HRC colors or the
Yeah.
Rothman's colorway.
Oh my god, yeah.
Rothman's is probably the most underrated livery of all time.
Yeah, for
Rothman
obviously.
and even Gulf oil, the blue and
That's
even
the most
that-
overrated livery in the world.
Alitalia
I mean, I've
also.
literally got Gulf shoes coming in right
Yeah.
now. Literally got a custom pair of Nike.
Anyway, underrated.
Ignis.
Okay.
Ah.
Oh my.
It's a good car, huh?
So I'll tell you what, with the Ignis is very, very strange, right? Because it's not selling a lot of cars. They don't do like 10,000, 15,000 units or whatever. Like 2,000-3,000 units a month, maybe. Maruti did not think that they would sell those many Ignises when they launched
Really?
the car.
Oh shit.
They said, yeah, okay, we'd be happy with like 1,000 units a month. They consistently did like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 cars. That car, and this is one of those cars where every single auto journalist agrees on, like the Punto and the Linea, Fiesta, Octavia. Shit, I just said my next one.
Okay, you will continue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, I remember I had a manual petrol Ignis long termer when I was at Karan Bike in Delhi for a year. Oh, man. First of all, that engine is a masterpiece. That K12 engine is an absolute glorious piece of engineering, and it doesn't matter what you do to it, it'll just run. You can rag on it, you can red line at every shift, you can
That's
coast
a
car.
1.2.
1.2.
That's the K series engine.
K12. And
Oh,
the
K12,
chassis
okay.
supporting that car is also just brilliant.
Brilliant. Huh?
Just brilliant.
I-
It's a great, and it looks good. It's a great package, small.
I think it's one of the reasons why it did not go viral. I think the looks.
Yeah,
You know, when
but
you
no,
look
no,
at
no.
Polo-
No, no, I'll tell you simple. The simple reason why people did not buy an Ignis was because of the Swift.
Oh,
It was more expensive or similar price to the Swift, and the Swift was the Swift.
Yeah.
It's the Activa syndrome.
Correct.
But I had this discussion with my sister actually just a couple of days back. Is that the people who buy the Ignis have some character, dude? Like they've gone out of the norm to buy an Ignis. I
Yeah.
think it shows.
I know
Some
somebody who
character.
races one.
Oh yeah, there's one in
Achintya.
Delhi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got different connecting rods, different bore stroke, so it's actually bored out to 1.4. And he's got like bespoke suspension, like very high end wheels, on
Third
slicks.
down
Yeah.
Some great suspension.
Dude,
on
there's
it.
some mad videos
But,
about of
and that car
what
is
it
so
running?
fu-
What is it racing in?
autocross.
No, it autocrosses it and like track days it and stuff.
But isn't
Yeah.
the height of
No.
No,
You should see that car
it's like,
move around corners.
It's like a
Is
go
that
kart,
good?
dude.
Incredible how that thing corners. Incredible. I really want to drive it. And he watches our stuff. So Achintya, I'm going to come to Delhi and drive all your cars, all three of them.
That didn't look like a request. Can you rephrase
No,
that?
he's a friend. He's a friend.
But you said Octavia is the second?
That's my other underrated car.
But Octavia is not underrated.
Yeah.
It is.
No.
The new Octavia. This current Octavia, which is now... By the
Price.
time you probably see this is probably going to be... Okay, by the time you see this, it's not going to be on sale. So should I then go to another one? Because I have a third one.
Why will it not be on sale?
Because real driving dynamic, that emission norm come into play. And
To answer the question, watch
Actually,
our
that video goes
on,
live today.
Exactly. I was just going to say
today
that.
it's going
really?
live
On
now.
cars that are being discontinued.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to talk about the Octavia because a lot of people do love it. It is underrated because everybody goes and buys an SUV and nobody buys sedans.
Oh.
I could actually club the Octavia and the Superb into one category and say
Dude, I'm
Skoda.
still a sedan guy. I don't like
I'm
SUVs
a car
I'm
guy.
an
I don't
SUV
have
guy.
like a preference.
You're not a
100% SUV guy.
100% SUV.
I love my sedan. I love hatchbacks more than anything.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Dude,
I love convert. So this is my hierarchy,
Still
right?
love sedans.
Convertibles,
Yeah.
coupes, hatchbacks, SUVs,
Sedans.
wagons, sedans.
For me, probably number one is fast SUVs. Stuff like the G-Wagon. and all.
X5,
Yeah,
X5M.
X5M
I
competition.
love sleeper cars.
Stuff that you can just like.
M340i.
Oh.
Okay. So I won't say Octavia. Let me say something else. The Tiago.
Overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Okay.
So, firstly, maybe the reason for that is because it's now old. It's really at the end of its life cycle. It desperately needs a refresh, major refresh. But even today, as a little, and this is not just the petrol one, even the CNG one. And imagine this is me saying this, okay? The CNG one, the electric one, the normal petrol one, they all feel really nice to drive. They're great city cars. They need more refreshes or they need a generation change because it's getting a little long in the tooth. But otherwise, the Tiago is just such a good car.
Yeah.
and it gets overshadowed by like normal passenger car stuff like the Wagoner and the Swifts and the Ignises of the world, and before that like the Figo and like the Freestyle and stuff like that. But it is still such a great car. Brio. But beautiful. Like as a package. And it looks, even today,
It looks smart.
a Tiago
It looks smart.
looks
I'm
great.
not sure of the colors though.
The yellow.
The yellow or the orange
Oh,
was
man, I
Orange
love
is
the
also
yellow.
off. Oh, yellow is very Cyrus.
I love bright
The only
color.
yellow Tiago in South Mumbai.
I love bright colored cars. And you can do bright colored cars on small hatchbacks.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it lets you do that. On
No.
small SUVs as well.
Yeah, you can.
On like a Creta size vehicle, maybe not. Like I wouldn't buy a.
Dude, what about the yellow Virtus? I
hate
just
it.
saw one.
I don't like
I
it.
just
At all.
saw one. Yeah, the same Tigon yellow.
I don't like it at all.
I think
For me, VWs need to be like a nice German sedated or a bright red.
For me, it's black.
I would love a black, but they don't make a black one. So grey, dark grey.
okay. My
Okay, yeah.
underrated
I'm done.
motorcycle.
Underrated.
This is only slightly underrated, and it's just off the top of my head, and it's the BMW G310 RR. So when
It's
it
an RR.
Yeah,
The
the-
RR
Modified
310.
version
the-
of the RR.
basically the
Basically,
Apache
you can say RR310.
RR310 basically, which is like, so when it came out, it got a lot of this thing that is
But
the
it had
same.
issues.
It is
Yeah,
the
it
same
had the
bike.
vibration. It just jarred
It
my
had a
balls.
lot
Yeah.
of issues.
No, but doesn't the RR310 have the same issues?
No, not anymore.
No, not in 2023.
Two.
Two.
21. 21 was the update with the screen.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but
And
the
21 was the update. That's mine. The one I have is the 21 June.
So they sorted a lot of these issues. I think that popped up in 2018. When was it?
No. 2021 was when the screen came
No,
in.
the first version came out in 2018.
18.
Yeah.
And that had
18.
issues.
Yes.
Vibration.
yeah, but the
Lot
G310 RR does not have those issues, right? It's the newest Apache.
Yeah, correct.
So the reason I'm saying it's underrated is because it's a little bit pricier than an Apache. For you get the same bike, but you get a lot more road presence. Whatever you say, it may look the same, but the livery on it is pretty cool. Like it is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it does. I mean, I would.
Secondly,
Definitely have
BMW
BMW.
customer experience at a dealership is far better than a TVS dealership experience, and this is from Team BHP.
Okay.
And those are the only two. I mean, you don't need a lot of reasons for it to be underrated, but I just feel when it came out, everyone said it's the exact same and no styling updates have been done to it, which I agree. I
Would
think
you have it
BMW.
over an RC390?
No,
There you go.
no, I won't. That's why I said it's not that far underrated. But I'm taking this as an isolation. Like I wouldn't have the RR310 over the RC390 either. I would pick
Would
the
you have a
RC
R3
over.
over this?
No,
R3 sold India?
No.
Not anymore.
Yeah, so you're literally
I would
answering.
still take the RC 100%. But I would take the
But it
RC
looks
over the
weird now that you
RR310
highlight
also.
it. It looks
RC?
like it looks like this.
RC or which one? RC.
RC.
But dude,
RC3.
that bike.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure
it's
it rides
mad.
brilliantly. But like,
What a bike.
Yeah. But yeah, slightly, I would say minus 2 underrated, only because the biggest problem with that bike is that it looks exactly the same as the Apache, which, yeah, I mean.
it's a badge engineered product.
Yeah.
What do you expect it to be?
Yeah,
I
but
don't think that bike should exist in the first place.
Which one? G310 RR?
Yeah, because
Why-
the G310R and the Apache RR310 are the same underneath, right?
Yeah.
And they are differentiated by body style.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
but there
RR
is a difference in performance as well.
In what?
The engine.
The G310RR versus the Apache RR310.
No. You said G310R.
The
R.
G310R exists as an adventure bike or whatever.
That's
No,
the
that's
GS.
the street naked.
Whatever. the you know what I'm talking about, the non-fed
the
one.
G310 GS.
That's the,
The GS and the R, the upright naked and the GS exist because they're like more adventurous or whatever, right? Very BMW-esque motorcycles.
Okay.
One is an adventure, one is a street motorcycle.
Correct. But the Apache version of that doesn't exist, right?
No.
So the Apache is the fully fed one.
Yeah.
There's only one
Yeah.
motorcycle on that same
Correct.
track.
Yeah.
And the BMWs are the naked and the
Yeah.
touring or
And
whatever,
then
the
there's a
adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
sure.
So that's differentiating your product enough.
Yes.
Now you're
Yes.
not differentiating your product. So you're
Ha.
basically buying stickers and a
Yeah.
badge.
It's
Both
the
of which I can
badge.
do from outside.
It's the badge.
It's the badge.
But
But if
you
anybody
can't
does that,
legally-
listen. Why? Of course you can put stickers on it.
No.
Put a BMW badge on it.
Stickering is okay, but you can't change complete paint
No.
schemes.
But listen, you can.
majority
You can,
color as
There's
legally.
a whole process
No,
with the
no, no,
RTO
no.
and stuff
It's
like that.
very simple. It's a single form you fill and it literally comes up on your RC on the online thing in like 2 hours. It's very easy. And it's some 150 $200. It's very, very easy to change color on the RC book, by the way. Not many people do it, but nonetheless. But I agree. It looks cooler.
It looks
100%.
cooler. And customer service experience is just better because you're going to a BMW dealership at the end of the day. So that's minus
way,
2.
No premium.
I just bought a paddock stand for mine.
What? RR310?
Because I damaged the rear wheel. My brother damaged the rear wheel, so I had to remove it and either get a new one or get it fixed. So we've got it fixed now because one of the wheel experts that I have who fixes my wheel said, no, don't bother with the new wheel. I'll fix it. It's very simple. We'll heat it up, straighten it out, and give it back to you.
Bend trim.
Yeah, bend, nasty bend. But I got a paddock stand for it and put it on the paddock stand. Looks any bike.
Dude, any fully fed, exactly.
On a paddock stand is the coolest
Those
thing in the
lines
world.
and
Do you
the
want to know a
way-
hilarious story though?
No.
The wheel was off. The paddock stand was on. This is a KTM. I borrowed it from somebody. Okay? It's not mine.
KTM always.
It's a KTM paddock stand. So it's orange. Whatever aftermarket one, but it's orange.
Yeah.
It's parked in my mom's building below with my Fiat. Mom walks down, sees it, and goes hyper, full. I can say this because there's no chance my mom is watching any of this ever. She goes full, like 100 on 100 hyper. Calls my brother, scared, saying, "Please come home fast, come home fast."
Somebody stolen the tire.
No, she's like, what happened? The cops have come inside and clamped your motorcycle. The ass is like, Mom, like, just don't be annoying. I'll go away. Puts the phone down. And she thought that because 2 cops had come for passport verification in the building opposite us, so they were standing outside our gate.
So she thought
And they thought they had come and like, I don't know why she thought. I'm guessing she thinks we are both completely useless and like hunted by the law or some shit like
Not
that.
most wanted.
Not very wrong.
Probably. But it was so hilarious. My brother called me and said, "Listen, this is what happened here right now. Just call mom. She's gone completely mad." Yeah.
I've got one motorcycle left.
Yes. Underrated.
Underrated. This is the final one in our lists. It's actually the RC390.
Underrated.
Very underrated.
Bro, what?
Very underrated.
What?
The new one. Very underrated. And I say this because of how that platform developed over time. It started off with a purpose. That purpose and focus was racing. Barring looks, it had one purpose: to go fast. You go to a race.
Looks is a
It's a big thing. I'll get to that as well. I'll address that as well. But it had one purpose: to go fast, and it did. It set lap records at MMRT, and it was at Kari Motor Speedway. It did a lot of things at the racetrack.
Okay.
But
machar.
to address your point, when it comes to looks,
RC390 also sound like machars only when they are ridden like that.
no, it does not.
No.
No.
Dude, I've seen so many in Kurla.
No.
No.
Automotive eargasm.
Dude,
That's
dog,
no, and
that's
come on.
absolute rubbish. Okay?
Relax.
It's not like I'm being biased because
Of
I have a
course you're being
390.
biased.
It's not like I'm being biased or anything like that.
But the point is, a lot of us buy motorcycles that look good.
Yeah, because
I mean-
at least you like the way the damn thing looks, right?
Wait, but how can
But what
they made-
KTM did clever with the new RC390 is they just made it more versatile. And that's why it's underrated, because it can do everything now. I have this concept. You can be in the city on a Friday, to your favorite
Racetrack
on a Saturday,
Race on
and
Sunday.
exactly. The RC390 earlier never did that.
Yeah, but it just looks so.
That's why it's underrated. Because if you keep looks aside and if you just go for the experience, it is such an
It
amazing
is.
motorcycle to ride.
But I think it is correctly rated.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, I think I would agree because
I mean, you know, people say, "Arey yaar, ye kitna
Yeah.
acha nahi dikhta hai, I will not buy it." But they haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter if you don't like the way something looks.
Yeah.
Why would you experience it?
No, because I know, and that is why, KTM focused on function more than form. So there's a reason why you're able to tuck in better. There's a reason why there's better aerodynamics. There's a reason why those clip-ons and the seating position is now different, because they're focused on versatility.
But that's all faring behind, right?
Yeah.
Tank and stuff. That
Good.
face is only something that the mother can like.
No, but I feel one of the problems is also how good the old RC used to look. The old RC
No,
was
it
like,
didn't look rubbish.
what?
Yeah.
I think it used to look.
Like for me, the Duke is such a better, it's
Of
such
course
a
it
good
is.
motorcycle when it comes to looks, and have the same engine and have the same feeling, even better feeling. But the RC390 is such, like for me, that was motorcycle of the
I
year.
don't like the way KTM's look. Period.
That was the Indian motorcycle of the year for me. It was that, just to see that transition from my arms ache, my shoulders ache, my back hurts to I can do everything on this.
Yeah.
That transition for me was good enough for the RC390 to win the motorcycle.
You know, I had a Duke 390. First gen Duke 390 slipper clutch.
Dude, that is
And
insane.
Insane.
I hated
Oof.
it.
That is too
You
good.
hate it.
I hated it.
You don't like motorcycles.
No, I love. I mean, I don't ride as much as you guys do.
What a
100%.
motorcycle. Insane.
I
Unreal.
hated it.
Dude, my first experience with
And I
that.
came
Why?
off. I saw because I came off riding Ninja 250 in. Well, then I had a bit of a break, but the smoothness of the Japanese, that smoothness of that two-cylinder engine, and then that Duke, which was
Dude,
just
the
like
top
ranty all
end
the
whack
time.
of that Duke
Is mental,
is
man.
mental, dude.
I-
That mid to top is oh,
I
that's crazy.
It's
just
too
wasn't
good.
my thing.
Yeah, anyway, but I think that pretty much
Does it.
ends
Wraps
our
it up,
list
yeah.
of underrated and overrated cars and motorcycles. And like we said at the start of this video, if you want to listen to some topics that you're interested in, we are more than happy to have a conversation once again. So drop in those comments, let us know, and we'll be back with some more podcasts on the PowerDrift podcast. So see you soon.